Good morning for those that are live, and good afternoon, evening, or whatever time of day it is for those that are watching this as a video. And you're at Tarot Time and at the Medium channel where we bring you the spirituality behind the message. So in Tarot Time, I'll start out just by, well, let, let me see if I can talk on a Sunday morning. Okay. I'll just wait a minute or two for the live people to come in. And usually, what we do in tarot times, I'll talk briefly, or maybe not so briefly, sometimes about what's going on in the world, current events. Then we'll get into what our meditation card is. I might do a little tarot tutorial for you guys. Do a 3-card spread. Then look at the Native American deck, look at the animal totems, and get an angel message. So we do a pretty full, broad spectrum of divination tools here on Tarot Time. And the whole idea is to help us in our journeys in this very beautiful but very challenging times. And this is one of the things that we offer to the community. So if you guys are new and you want to say hi, please let us know where you're from. And right now I'm just drinking water, but I always ask on a Sunday morning, are you coffee, tea, or caffeine free? And I had my green tea earlier, so now I'm down to water. So let me say a few quick hellos. So Coyote Candles is in. Hey Janae. Hi Teresa and Sharon and Judy and Beth is here. And oh gosh, the names are going by too quickly. Doreen is in, and if I miss anybody, I apologize. Coffee for Judy. Bradenton, Florida for Beth's Healing Temple. Welcome. And Mom all Deborah. I don't know what that says. Mom all Butterfly PT for butter. I don't even know what butterfly 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 PT. Okay. Uh, all right. So what else? Should be a tool. Well, that should just be a tool for your arsenal. Yes. And good morning, Sharita. So we have Sharita in today to give us a little bit of astrological, numerological insight. So what's going on? Well, there's a lot going on in the news. Let me just see if I can focus on what's important. Well, we have a big, bright, beautiful Sagittarius super full moon coming, peaking Tuesday morning on the 14th. So later today, I think, I don't know the exact time, but I think around 5, 6 p.m. or so, the moon's actually going to go into Sagittarius. So it's in Scorpio now. I think it might even be a little later than that. But the moon is going into Sagittarius. So will really be locked into the full moon energy. So what Spirit is saying about this full moon is it's going to be a really good manifestation moon. And I'm not sure why. Maybe Sharita can dig in and understand. I mean, well, Sagittarius is a very, it's Jupiterian, it's very expansive, very growth oriented. So that's a nice sign as it is. And I think Saturn's actually favorably aspected. I think it's sextiling the full moon or thereabouts while Neptune is squaring it. But in any event, a lot of energy. Sagittarius tend to be more of an optimistic, kind of an expansive, sort of funny, sometimes a little bit crass. It's got all that Jupiterian component in it. And one of the things that we can do with tarot cards, I talked about this a little bit last week too, is you can use tarot for law of attraction work also. Like if you're wanting to manifest money or a new home or whatever, and you're doing your affirmations or vision boards, however you do law of attraction work, you can pull tarot cards. And I like 3 cards. I like that three is Jupiterian energy. It's expansive energy. So I like working with 3 cards. And so you can find 3 cards that are appropriate, and then you have the energy, because the tarot has energy. It's connected with a lot of religious and occult training, a lot of spiritual energies connected with tarot. Before modern times, tarot was used primarily in meditation. Actually, it became more popular in divination in the 1900s actually, but tarot is a lot older than that. So let me just peek in on what we were saying. Yes, there are two aspects for the FM close sextile to Saturn and Aquarius. Okay, thank you for that. Moon void of horse. Okay, so here we go. So we've got the we've got that. So loaded question is an exotic blue tea. I'm missing a lot of your comments. I don't even know what the loaded question is. So in any event, in and around the news, we need to really again stay in our hearts, stay in our power, stay in our own lane, so to speak. Um, we're amidst the trials for January the 6th. What else is going on? Gosh, there's so much going on. I can't even think clearly this morning, but I know that's big. And then of course, the issues with violence and shootings, and there's a lot of things that are going on. It's good to be aware of what's going on in the world. Even if it's through the mainstream news that we know is subject to censorship, it's still good to at least have a feeling, or have what's the expression, having a finger on the pulse, so to speak. But at the same time, let's create our own good news, and understand again that things have to fall down before things rise up again on a firmer and stronger foundation. Yeah, and what else? More about possible pandemics, and I read an interesting article this morning about, or maybe it was yesterday, about um, how the pandemic's really coming into more of an endemic phase now, and a lot of more restrictions are being lifted. Like for example, that testing is no longer required, like to come into the country or something like that. So they're lifting that, but there's also been in some areas increases of cases also. So yeah, I mentioned in my yearly forecast last December that around June that we would go more into an endemic phase of the virus. So anyway, that appears to be happening, and it may be deemed official in the next couple of months. It may not be, but that's kind of what's happening. So what else? Noise, all noise. Thank you. Yes, noise. Yeah, yeah, 23. Thank you for validating that. Yeah, it's 23 degrees. All right. Thank you. Yes. Oh yeah, thank you. We talked the last 2 weeks, and in the June forecast, watch out for bad heat waves in June. And my God, it's beyond for people in the Southwest, and it's going to spread into the plains. 123 in Death Valley yesterday, I think, was the high temperature in the country. That's pretty hot for early June, last I checked. I mean, yeah, Death Valley is a hot place, but that was a record high for them also. So, again, if anybody's interested, we have the June forecast is up on the Medium channel also. So what I want to do is pull a meditation card for this week for us, and I'm kind of peeking. Yeah, 23 is the royal star of the lion's energy, super karmic, rewarding. So let's really put our good karma out there and manifest. Yeah. So I love when the numerology and astrology can validate what I'm sensing from spirit. It's a really good thing. So manifestation again, however, whatever tools that you use. If you want to check, I have a playlist with at least 20 videos on law of attraction on the channel, and how to do it, how to make it effective. There's a lot of myths, there's a lot of truths, but the thing is that everything's energy, and what we hold in consciousness, it's a ripple effect out into reality, and eventually it starts to it comes back to us. Now that we're in a very lunar energy, because this is this full moon is, I believe, only 9 hours off the lunar perigee for the month, which is basically 9 hours is nothing. So the moon is about as close to the sun during this full moon as is possible, and um, so that makes the moon more powerful, and the moon is reflective. It reflects the sunlight. So the moon's about reflection. So it's at a 23-degree point, which is Mercury ruled, and it's very fortunate, as Sharita has told us through Chaldean numerology. It's said to be a very fortunate number. Manifest away. What do you want? What do you desire? And the idea also is not to get psyched out by the world, the news and the way things are presented, the timing they're presented. There's no accidents. It's very much about deflating our joy and our optimism, and kind of what's the right way of explaining this or putting this? We'll just kind of getting us into that fear mode, and submitting our free will to a so-called higher authority. I don't know if I'm talking English this morning. If I'm not, I apologize. Mercury shadow enters Gemini tomorrow, so that's another interesting thing. So we're getting a lot of Mercury energy kicking in also, and so it'll be extreme. Yeah, we will be strongly waning with this one until the 28th. The end of the month is wicked. Things get wonky. Well, thanks for the heads up with that. So we'll see how the tarot reading today reflects all that. So let me do a meditation card, and this would be basically something for our community at this time. Okay, so this is the one that's coming out. And this is the card that I got. We've been getting a lot of court cards for our meditation cards. Okay, I see my screen is glitching, so I apologize if if I cut out at all this morning also. So the idea, I don't know if you can see, it's the Page of Swords is the card that I pulled up. Pages are often about news. Swords is air. So swords is like communication. Swords can be the news also. Swords can represent strife and challenge as well in the tarot. But swords are about truth. So be in your truth, be in your power. I think that's part of the message of the card. But as a meditation card, what you want to do is get very relaxed and present. That's what meditation is. And once you get out of your thoughts and into your breath and into the present moment, then you start to expand your consciousness. So as we are in internal dialogue, in our own stories, in our own dramas, worried about what's going on in the world, worried about what somebody on social media wrote about us yesterday. When we're in all these trivialities of life, we condense our energy. So when we go into meditation, become present, we start to expand our energies, and we're in this expansive Jupiterian, Sagittarian, super full moon energy. So this is really a lot about expansion. So once you get into that state of being present, expansive, and open, then you consciously step into the card. So you can take a mental snapshot of this Page of Swords from the Hanson Roberts deck, or if you have a familiar deck that you use your imagery. And then when you step in, you see the whole scene. So right now you just see a very small snippet of a panoramic scene all around the you could call this a portal. Like let's look at the card as a portal. So when you step in the portal, a whole new scene may emerge. So go into that scene and feel, if your visuals see, if not feel, hear, sense what's going on. And I think, because I think the last 3 weeks in a row, it's all been about court cards or figures in the cards. So I really feel like this is about meeting spirit guides, or meeting beings in higher dimensions on the other side, or in the realm of spirit, and see what information you get. And again, swords can be about truth. So as you step in, just ask spirit, show me the truth about what's going on in my life and my awakening, what's going on in the world around, because there's a lot of smoke streams. We don't really know the truth. We can get a sense that there's agendas. We can connect the dots. We can see the patterns. We can know that that there's a select few that controls the masses to the masses' detriment, to the select few's benefit, and money is power and money is influence. So we can kind of follow these steps and have an idea what's going on and everything. Now, again, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of focus on the January 6th trial. There's been a lot of focus on Johnny Depp, um, and other things that are going on. Monkeypox and all this other stuff. Um, but the news is going to divert attention, and several months ago there was do we remember the freedom truckers in Canada, or has that been kind of brainwashed out of our memories now? But they were doing some good work and making some progress, and there is a similar movement here in the United States. There have been a lot of protests. There's been a lot of demonstrations. We don't hear about these in the news. The attention is diverted out of that because, again, there's a plan, there's an agenda, and there's a system of control that's going on. There always has been for thousands of years. So, again, we can look at this as a big conspiracy, or we can look at this as the dark side of human nature, and a select few have managed to seize the control of the world, basically. But however you look at it, it's going to add up to the same thing. And what it adds up to us as a community is, as an awakening, evolving spiritual community, that we've got to stay in our heart. We've got to, that's our power. That's our connection to the divine. Expand in the heart with this Jupiterian full moon, this expansive full moon. Use that to expand your heart frequency and radiate that out. Sometimes just seeing somebody's having a bad day and smiling and saying hi can be expanding the joy, expanding the love. This is what we need to do. When we can stay in the heart, then we're not as susceptible to the negative energies of other people, and we're less likely to get hijacked into negative emotions by what's going on in the world, or other people's moods, or other people's energies. So, we're part of a collective. We're all connected. We're individuals, but we're all connected through the great web of life, into this collective consciousness. And we can choose to either be affected by the collective. I mean, we will be anyway, but for argument's sake, we can choose to be affected by the collective, or we can choose to be generators to affect the collective. And we're actually, every moment, both things are true and active. So it's really, again, where you place your focus. It's like the Native American story about the two wolves. It's which wolf you feed. So it's really where you place your attention. Energy flows where attention goes. So let's place our attention in our heart and use the expansive energy for that. So in any event, for whatever reason, talking about this meditation card got me into this whole soliloquy. Well, it wasn't really a soliloquy, a monologue. Anyhow, let's do a 3-card spread now, and I'm just going to peek at your comment. Here we go. Good Sunday. Yes, keeping out of fear is so important. Exactly. They're losing major rights. Yes. Too bad Canada didn't keep it up. Yeah, well, Canada basically, a mere 2 months after the Prime Minister, was reported to say that he supports peaceful protests, basically seized their bank accounts and threw them in jail, or tried to. So, again, actions do speak louder than words now, don't they? So, here will be our 3-card spread for the week. This may tap into current events, what's going on in the world. I'd say, because as I'm talking about that, I'm seeing things moving in the earth. So be aware that in the next couple of weeks there may be some seismic activity. I'm really keeping an eye on the west coast. That could be South America too, but I'm really keeping an eye in that area and around the area around Portugal into the Mediterranean. Feels a little bit hot, going into like China in that area. So I think in these different like seismic belts, there may be some activity, I want to say. All right, back to 3 card spread. And I feel like Spirit saying, just tell them to keep spreading the love, not to focus so much on earthquakes and, the earth's changing. Part of its response to what humans are doing on the planet. Part of it is just natural things that the earth does. It's all part of evolution. Part of it is the increase of energies, the human resonance and stuff like that, which are different measures of frequencies that it continues to increase. The magnetic poles continue to weaken, en route to a polar shift, probably. Which when that happens, as that's happening, that allows more solar radiation, and actually, so the solar flares, the coronal mass ejections, with less magnetism means more of that energy gets in. But that's part of the light code activation from the central sun via the physical sun. So it's all, there's a lot of things in nature that are pointing to a major change and a major shift that's going to be an upgrade once it's completed. Upgrade in consciousness. All right, so, but getting back to this week now. So many Americans, and I'm just saying, just catch up in your comments. Need their backbone back. Yeah, they do. 2009, yep. So false evidence appearing real, right? That's fear. Love is, yeah. Thank you so much for your comment. All right, need to clear my mind. Call spirit in. That's 3 cards for us for this week, please. This one, okay. And I set up my technology to display the cards for you. Okay, so here's the advanced technology that we use here on the Medium channel. Yes, I'm old. Uh-oh, we froze. Oh, I'm moving again. All right. Again, apologies for the technical glitches. I noticed that I froze again. So, and I'm freezing again. Okay. So let's see how this is all going to work out, or how this is all going to play out this morning. Okay. Hmm. All right. Loving this, Sharita. All right. I don't know if you guys are seeing me or not. I guess I'll just keep going. Go with it. We can see the cards. Okay, thank you. All right. So it's just frozen on my end. All right. So anyway, so we have the 8 of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Strength card. So that's what we have here. And we've been talking about the Strength card a lot, because it says key 8, but in the ancient tarot, it was key 11. Yeah, which is the in Chaldean numerology, 11 is the lion's muzzle with clenched fists, and we clearly see the lion, and we see the figure taming the lion. So, this culminates, to me, this makes me feel like there's going to be, I don't know, like a lot of dissension, almost like a lot of like little pickiness in the air this week, I want to say. Not glitches, but inconsistencies in the news and stuff like that, and everything. Um, so I'm glad you guys can see me. I think what I'm experiencing is a problem with StreamYard then, because I'm frozen on my screen. And Yeah, and to me, with the cups upside down, I mean, on one hand, I feel like part of it is like we just have to let go. If we feel triggered, because this Queen of Swords reversed, that feels like kind of, I don't know. It's almost like antagonistic energies, and I think what we're going to find is people are going to be really moody this week, and I think we're going to really need to tap into our patience. I want to say, um, take a lot of deep breaths, take a lot of time outs. I think a lot of people are going to get tired easily this week because there's massive shifts that are happening energetically. At least that's what I'm feeling from the cards. And I feel like several of us are just going to have like a lot of disagreements around family, spouses, or stuff like that. But this Eight of Cups is, to me, is a very spiritual energy, and it makes me feel like this is a good time leading up to the full moon to do some spiritual journeying. And if you can get out into nature and go meditate in the woods or the mountains or something like that, I think that is that I'm seeing your hobbies. Oh my God, this is defined by programming as well. It's too defined by programming. Yeah. And I just because I go on YouTube and watch other videos, and I like to comment. That's part of my social connection to other creators, other spiritual people, and stuff like that. And I was just talking about how when I do mediumship and they come through, and they say, we don't measure success by things like money or who you're married to or what house you live in. It's how much love you have at the end. It's how much love and joy you are able to spread into the world, how many people love you. That's how they measure success on the other side. So understand that, that there's a lot of people that are programmed, and programming is emotional in nature. It's energy emotion. So it's a triggering type of programming. So yeah, and unless you're working to be conscious and you're working on awakening, then you are subject to the programming. It's subconscious. We don't even know it's happening most of the time, but the clues are in the reactions and the feelings. Like when we see, hear things, how do we react to it? That's where you can get the clues into what the programming is doing. And if you're reacting negatively at all, on an emotional level, you know, step out of that and observe that, and you start to get insights into the programming. So, to me, that this has the feeling of like another round of some kind of either energetic programming or manipulation, or in the media, or a combination thereof. But the strength card is really defining, like we can overcome. So there's a sense of, it almost feels like we're in this period where the tide's shifting, and we haven't really seen the results of that yet. From where I'm sitting, things keep going downhill, but that's how only if I was to use my physical eyes, or use my ego, or that part of my mind. If I go more energetically, I feel like the expansion, I feel the love, I feel the awakening. And the idea is that to connect, with those that are of like mind, to connect, I want to say as well. Um, yeah, and the strength card, that's like Leo, that's very hot energy. So, I think more heat waves. I think the Northeast is gonna escape it, but I think anywhere like, say, like south of like DC, in that area, from the plains all the way to the southeast, I think it's gonna get very hot. I want to say also as well, and with that, can come floods too, because I'm seeing a lot of water in my mind. So I think we may see news about some bad flooding. In fact, I'm talking about that. I think it could be very bad somewhere, later in the week or into next week. I feel like they're saying next weekend, so keep an eye on that also. I don't think here in the Northeast, I think more in the South. But anyway, whatever the case, let me see what else this is saying. All right, let me move on. I may get more messages, but I want to pull a Native American card now also. And I see my screen is still frozen, so I'm going to look at what you're saying. Oh, good for you. Thank you for that. Yes, Susan, I'm talking about Susan recommending Sharita. We're going to have, I don't know what date, but Sharita's going to be back to give us a little bit of summer. Her spring forecast is still active. If you want to check that out on the Medium channel, also. So these are the Native American tarot. All things. Yes, have infinite gratitude for all things. Gratitude is the programming buster. Or I just made that up. But when we feel gratitude in our hearts, the thing is, when you really vibrate at the heart, you can't have negative thoughts anymore. You can't be angry with people. You can't hold grudges. It's just impossible because the heart frequency is a completely different vibration. And, we're all human beings. There's nothing wrong with anger. There's nothing wrong with frustration. There's nothing wrong with reactions. There's everything wrong with being unconscious. And that's the key. So, I get frustrated. I've been known to yell and bang walls. It's fine. But I'm not unconscious when I'm doing it. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. But that's the idea. Be conscious. And how do we be conscious? We become present. We practice presence. The more present we are, the more conscious we are, and that's the key. So anyhow, how do we contact Sharita? I will tell you in a second. Oh gosh, if I can type that is this morning. Oh, so somehow I didn't mean to. All right, I'll pull this. I didn't mean to put this in all caps, but that's just how it went. That's your right website, right, Sharita? It's interesting. The screen is still frozen, but Sharita's website came on. All right, I'm pretty sure that's the right website. Well, thank you, Susan, for that, and I'll leave all of my information. Um, when this becomes a video, it'll be in the pinned comments. All right, so let's do a Native American card now, also. This one. This is what we got. The Lovers. It came. Oh, you can see. Okay, it came out reversed from my perspective. If for some reason I want to hold this right side up, yeah, that way you can see that the Lovers in the standard tarot is very Gemini energy. In fact, it's ruled by Gemini, so it's got a Mercury energy to that also. So Mercury's going to Gemini, Sun's in Gemini. And everything like that as well. Put my personal year. Very first, yeah. The Sharita can answer that, Angela. And that's interesting. I'll show this in a second, but I need to get a. So he's playing the flute, and so this is to me this is about choices and again Gemini energy is very much about what duality, right? Like it's the twins. It's like and I've been talking about this for the last couple months. We're sort of faced with it in this juncture, basically, that we can go one of two ways, basically, and whether we want to be more like in a personal spiritual development mode, or whether we want to be kind of plugged in and hooked up to the metaverse and all of that stuff. Um, so the thing is, what you want, knowledge is power. So the things we want to learn. Let's see, two birds just flew out of my window. Also, I mean, literally, somebody may be falling in love the next week or two. Also, but um, but with the native flutes, that's a very uplifting, very spiritual energy. I want to say, and it's okay to again, like I was saying before, to have reactions to things and to be human or whatever. The idea is to be conscious. So to me, also, it's a very social energy. So maybe to reach out to people more and to communicate more with that. So anything else from this card? Um, yeah, I'm feeling my heart center. Yeah, I'm feeling the sound Om. So working with the root sound Om might be helpful as well. Okay, very good. So I want to do the animal card. Let me leave this card out though also. So we have the medicine cards here also to see what wisdom we can get from the animal kingdom as well. This is the one. We got blue heron, which is very reflective, right? I'll see what that means. We've gotten blue heron before, by the way. But I always look at blue heron like being in the in the pond and looking at the reflection in the pond, and we had the super full moon. So we've gotten blue heron before. Maybe some of us will see a blue heron. Key 40, well, not key. It's number 46 here. No, 45. Raccoon is 46. Oh, all right, where are we? Self-reflection. And there's always a little poem here. Blue heron, thank you, sacred water bird, for sending reflections to me. The mirrors of the quests for life, the worlds that live inside of me. Show me how relationships work with my path woven within the whole. The lesson of kinship with all life, reflecting my spirit's eternal goal. And now I'm getting the synchronicity between these two cards, because and this is kind of finishing the thought about reactions or whatever. Relationship, if we can take the sum of all relationships that we have now, that can include our spouses or romantic partners, if we have those, our family, that can include the how we relate to the world around us, how we relate to strangers, how we relate to trees. And if we can kind of sum up that, you will know what you are putting out into the universe, because everything is reflective. This universe is set up to be our classroom. This is my belief anyway, and what spirit shares with me, that that it's fractal. So it's a replicating. What happens in the universe, it self-replicates. Things self-replicate in the universe, based on the consciousness or the energy that's fed into the system. So as we feed energy into the universal system, it replicates in a certain way and reflects back to us the energy that we're putting out into the universe. So I feel like they're saying this week, try to step out. This is going to be a powerful full moon. Again, it's a super moon. It means the moon's closer. Just from a physics or an astronomy perspective, that basically means the gravitational pull of the moon is stronger now. And when it's opposing the sun, that also has a gravitational pull on the earth, then it becomes a super moon. So super moons happen at the perigee of either the full moon or the new moon, because the gravitational pull is augmented by the sun, in that perspective. That's why the tides are going to be crazy, the next few days. So the highest tides on a full moon cycle is from the full moon to about 2 days after the full moon, basically. So it takes a little bit of time for the gravity to generate the pull on the ocean. So it doesn't happen at the exact moment where it's the fullest. There's a little bit of a lag. Anyway, that's a little bit of astronomy. So thank you, Sarita, for adding to that. So reflection, yeah, and understanding that that's part of relationships. That's the lovers. That's Gemini. It's a very relationship oriented sign. It's that duality. It's that mutable social energy. With that sign. Um, so this is the time to gain insight of our own inner natures based on the relationships that we have with the world around us. So, angel, oh, here they are. So, sticking with Doreen Virtue's messengers from the angels for our final message of the morning. Um, so, what's coming up? Tuesday, we're going to do some channeling. Since it is unless Spirit says something differently, but since the moon is full in a fire sign, we'll work with Archangel Michael of the south of fire. Although I'm feeling Archangel Gabriel, who's of water, but anyway, so it may be, but whatever the case, Tuesday night at 8, we're going to do an Archangel transmission, also with the Master Teachers at 7 o'clock here. It's just going to be me. Heather cannot join us, but she's going to do a meditation for us on shadow work, like a shadow work meditation on Wednesday that she's going to upload to the channel. So for those of you that have been missing Heather lately, she's coming back. We're going to start a very powerful waning moon cycle. It officially starts on Wednesday, but so I think shadow work is going to be a very, very appropriate meditation for us to do. And that ties into what I was saying before. It's like the way we react. It's programming. Programming can be from our childhood. It can be from the society. The subconscious mind works on programs. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how our minds work. But we want our programming to be healthy. So when we do our shadow work, we look into these subconscious programs and how they affect us and how they limit our lives. And then we do work to clear those programs. So this is going to be from Wednesday all the way through the next new moon. It's going to be a really good time for that. But now until the full moon, and the full moon energy, it will. I mean, the moon's going to transition into Capricorn very quickly after the full moon on Wednesday. Capricorn's it's Saturn ruled. It's a good moon for shadow work. Also, it's good for manifestation. Capricorn is a very it's Saturn ruled, very very grounded energy, very very good for success in that sense, at least from my perspective. Um, so from now right through the full moon and even a few days after, great time for manifestation. When we manifest, we feel like it's already happened. We don't want it. We don't need it. We already have it. We own that feeling. We feel it in our heart. We're grateful for it. That's how to manifest. Whatever tools that you use in the process. I'm a big fan of affirmations, for example, but whatever tools you use, they're tools to get you to that energetic mindset where it's already real, because in the quantum field it is already real. And it's been proven that, well, we'll say theoretically proven, and I guess it hasn't been proven by the rigors of science, but clearly demonstrated through the observer effect in quantum physics and other means that consciousness changes reality on a subatomic level, which means in time it's going to change it on a physical level also. So anyways, on that note, you know what? They tell me to pull the bottom card. I'm going to do it. And this is the card that happens to be on the bottom. It's Archangel Raphael, the healer. And I am helping you heal physical challenges in yourself and others. You are a healer like me. And I think this card popped out to just tie things a little bit together and understand that work on our own healing. That's an important part of the whole process. That is the ultimate goal of doing shadow work anyways. I did a lot of shadow work, and I lost a lot of autoimmune, diseases that I had my whole life. For example, that's what can happen, and it kind of it reminds me, and I'll kind of finish up on this of a quote, and that I'm going to paraphrase from the Buddha, or maybe Buddha. I don't know why he's the Buddha, or not just Buddha, but anyway, um, where a student asks, what have you gained from meditation, and he'd be like, nothing. But I'll tell you what I've lost. I've lost anxiety. I've lost stress. I've lost fear. I've lost doubt. I've lost disease. I've lost, So again, spiritual growth is a matter of decrease. It's not increase. So, healing is very often a matter of losing something, losing negative programming, negative beliefs about ourselves. Um, Disease is primarily of the mind now. In an age where there's microplastics in the food that we eat and the air that we breathe, I think disease can be from other sources also, to be quite honest, but primarily it's of the mind. So our mind is the number one indicator of our level of health, or level of ill health. So the more healthy we are of mind, the more healthy we're going to be a body, and then our immune systems respond to that. We and even genetic disorders can be improved through power of the mind and power of intention and stuff like that. So maybe this is their way of saying, work with Archangel Raphael, work with me on Tuesday. But whatever the case, we're going to do a powerful transmission for the full moon on Tuesday. Anyway, so that's what we have for this morning. Have a beautiful week, everybody. Thank you for being here, and we shall see you next time. And let me just read the last thing that Sharita's saying here. Remember, of this month is all about healing. Well, the rest of the year and moving into next, all is really so much more ahead that kicks this up further. Yeah, and Sharita will be back. She'll be detailing some of the stuff she's been talking about on a video soon. So all right, thanks again. I love you. See you next time.